In the heart of the vibrant coastal town of Luba, where the sun kissed the waves and palm trees swayed to the rhythm of the ocean, there stood a salon unlike any other. Its sign, painted in swirling gold and cobalt, red, crimson-dyed braids and beauty, and its owner, a woman known only as Madame Zalika, was whispered about in every market and prayed over in every church. She was a vision, tall and statuesque, her skin the deep, rich hue of wet sand at midnight, her hair a cascade of braids interwoven with pearls and tiny, blinking sea glass. But it was her eyes that unsettled those who looked too long, one a warm amber, the other a pale, eerie green, like sunlight filtered through ocean foam. Madame Zalika's salon thrived not just because of her skill, but because of the miracles she performed. Bald men left with thick, curled crowns. Grey hair darkened to jet black without dye. Brides glowed on their wedding days, their intricate hairstyles defying wind and rain. Yet, for all her charm, Zalika had rules. She opened only at sunset, her doors creaking shut by midnight. She refused to touch the hair of pregnant women or infants. And she demanded payment not only in coins but in secrets, a childhood memory, the name of a first love, a whispered fear. They see love stories, she'd purr, her voice like tide pulling at the ankles. And stories, my dear, are the currency of gods. But Luba's people soon learned that Zalika's gifts came with hooks. Young Ikin, the fisherman's son, returned from her salon with locks so handsome the village girls swooned, but within weeks, he abandoned his nets, roaming the shorelines at night, muttering about a woman's voice in the waves. Neka, the tailor's devout wife, begged Zalika for calls to win back her straying husband. The next morning, Neka was found dancing naked in the town square, her mind unspooled. Whispers grew into warnings, she's no ordinary woman. Her comb is made from a shipwreck's bones. Her tonics are brewed from the tears of drowned souls. Still, the desperate kept coming, lured by vanity or hope, their skepticism drowned out by the crash of the tide. Unbeknownst to them, Madame Zalika was indeed no mortal. She was a daughter of Mami Wata, the serpentine goddess of the sea, cast out from her underwater realm for defying the ocean's laws. The tools of her trade, a blood-red comb carved from coral, a silver hand mirror etched with leviathans, oils that shimmered like bioluminescent plankton, were relics stolen from her mother's palace. With them, she wove not just hair but fate itself. For those weak in spirit, she siphoned fragments of their destiny, storing them in glass jars that lined her shadowy backroom. For the arrogant or cruel, she planted seeds of chaos, a single strand of kelp knotted into a braid, a drop of brine massaged into the scalp. Such clients would later wake with saltwater nightmares, their lives unraveling like frayed rope. One sweltering evening, as the horizon swallowed the sun and the air hummed with impending rain, a woman named Efua entered, crimson tide. Unlike the others, Efua did not come for beauty. A reverend's widow with a face like carved ebony and eyes sharp as flint, she had spent years tending to Luba's sick and haunted, her faith a shield against the darkness others feared. But lately, a strange affliction had gripped the town, a fever of reckless hearts and broken homes, and Efua had traced its scent to Zalika's door. She arrived clad in a stark white dress, a wooden cross at her throat and a Bible tucked under her arm, her head shaved bare in defiance of vanity. I hear you craft miracles, Efua said, her voice steady. I've come for one. Zalika's green eye flickered. She gestured to her chair, its leather cracked like ancient whale hide. Sit, sister. What is it you desire? Glory. Vengeance. A lover's heart. Peace, Efua replied, settling into the chair. For this town. The salon seemed to hold its breath. Zalika's smile tightened, but she reached for her coral comb. As she began to walk, her hands moved swiftly, weaving Efua's non-existent hair into an invisible tapestry. The room filled with the scent of rotten seaweed and myrrh. Efua's reflection in the silver mirror began to shift, her face younger, fiercer, surrounded by storm clouds and screaming gulls. You were a storm caller, Zalika murmured, her voice now a chorus, as if a dozen women spoke through her. Asterisk, you once commanded winds to save your husband's ship. Why do you deny the old power in your blood? Asterisk. Efua gripped her Bible. I serve a higher power now. Do you? Zalika laughed, and the jars of destiny rattled on their shelves. Your God is landlocked, Reverend Mother. The sea is older. Hungrier. As Zalika's comb dug deeper, Efua's skin prickled. She felt the salon's walls dissolve, replaced by the crushing pressure of the deep. Shadows writhed like eels. The cross at her throat burned cold. With a gasp, Efua slammed her palm on the mirror, chanting a prayer in a tongue half-remembered from her grandmother, a hymn to both Christ and the spirits of the tide. The reaction was immediate. Zalika recoiled, her braids unraveling into siphon. The coral comb cracked, oozing black ichor. Glass jars exploded, releasing stolen destinies in wisps of gold and indigo. Outside, thunder roared as the ocean surged against the shore, waves clawing at the salon's foundation. You think you've won? Zalika hissed, her form flickering between woman and monster, scales, fangs, eyes like abyssal voids. The sea always takes what it is owed. Efua stood, her shaved head glowing with an otherworldly light. Not today. She flung her Bible open, revealing not scripture but a yellowed map of the ocean floor, and recited an incantation that fused psalm and spell. The ground shook. Salt water geysered through the floorboards. With a final, ear-splitting shriek, Zalika dissolved into a torrent of brine and vanished, leaving only her pearl-studded scarf behind. When dawn broke, crimson-tide braids and beauty was gone, its lot a waterlogged ruin. Efua, though drained to the bone, led the town in prayers and libations, pouring palm wine and honey into the surf to soothe both God and the sea. One by one, the afflicted regained their senses. Ikin returned to his nets. Neka, weeping but lucid, stitched her marriage back together. Yet Luba did not forget. To this day, mothers warn their children not to linger on the beach at twilight, lest Madame Zalika's voice, sweet and terrible as a siren's song, lure them into the waves. And Efua, now both reverend and juju woman, keeps Zalika's pearl scarf locked in a cedar chest, a reminder that some debts to the deep remain unpaid. On stormy nights, when the wind smells too much of salt and secrets, the townsfolk swear they hear the ghostly snip of a comb's teeth, and the low, liquid laughter of a woman who was never entirely human.